Hello, everyone, and welcome to Panel, your show about comics and everything pertaining to. I'm Spin Dash, and with me is the Space Chief.
Hey, everybody.
And Jules.
Hi.
And now we got a lot to get into tonight, so let's go ahead and kick off with our picks for New Comic Book Day. So, Space Chief, this week we're going to start off with you.
All right, my first pick this week. It's kind of odd because I don't usually promote this book a lot, and it's only on the 4th issue, but I think it's really starting to heat up. Fearless Defenders. I like it. I think it's awesome. It's Valkyrie, I believe. She's trying to gather together new Valkyrior for Asgardia, and they're trying to, and this other group is trying to bring about the Doom Maidens, which are dead Valkyrie, I guess. But it's really getting good, and so I recommend getting this. I have 4 picks this week, by the way, so I'm just going to move right through, move it along, so we're not wasting anybody's time. My next pick this week is a new series, starting with issue 1. It's from Image, Chin Music. It's kind of a there's this. It's kind of like this Eastern magic meets Al Capone, Prohibition era, Elliot Ness, kind of a noir book, but it's pretty good. And the Tony Harris, I believe his name is, he does the art for what is it, Justice Society, The Whistling Skull, and I love that comic. That's a mini-series. But this is really good too, and this just came out Wednesday, starting with number 1. My next pick, and this is kind of the swan song for this book, but I thought it ended really good. Team 7. I don't know if you can see that very well, but there it is. Team 7. Amanda Waller does something kind of way over the line in this. Even though, I mean, to me it was kind of justified. But, I mean, I don't think that her superiors are going to see it that way, what she did. So, but this was a good way. Went out on a bang. Team 7, I was reading this from the start. Thought it was good. If you like Team 7, I recommend getting that. My last pick and my top pick of the week. Are we there?
We're there.
You guys still hear me? Okay. Everything froze for a second. It was weird. I thought I was having a stroke.
No, we were just sitting very still.
Oh, like time stopped. It was like Voyager. I don't know, that Twilight Zone where the watch that stopped time or whatever. No, my last pick of the week is Thor: God of Thunder. This is really awesome. I know Jules wants to get it, and she'll get it. But I have faith that she will find a copy of it, but she needs to get it because it's really, really good. But this is part 2 of the God Bomb story, and Gore the God Butcher is kidnapping gods from all through the time stream and forcing them to mine volatile materials for the God Bomb. And so current Thor goes to meet his old self, and they travel to destroy the God Bomb, and then they meet a really young Thor who has already been enslaved who breaks free. And it's really good watching the 3 Thors on the Viking/spaceship flying through space. It's pretty cool. So I recommend Thor: God of Thunder, number 8. And those are my picks of the week.
So that's Crisis of Infinite. So is that Crisis of Infinite Thors?
Sort of. It's really weird. It's like, and he meets like his. I don't want to ruin it. I can't really say much.
Don't ruin it. No, ruin
I don't want to ruin.
If you want to read it, go support your local comic book store and pick it up.
Exactly. Go to a local comic shop and buy Thor number 8.
All right, Jules. What are we getting coming from you this week?
Okay. From me, I have 3. One has been out for a while, but my first one is going to go to Bravest Warriors, number 8.
Who saw it coming?
Yeah. If you know me, you know that this is probably going to be one of my picks. The art is absolutely fantastic, as always, and it's just a really cute story of, like, brain swapping.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I've never heard that sentence before. A cute story about brain.
I can almost not even explain to you what it's about because there was so much going on. It was like they woke up from a dream, and then his brain was in a robot's body, and then they fought these ninjas, and he was it was great though. And so I did read, I think 6 I read. So I have my work cut out for me to read more of these, but yeah, I was really excited about this one. And my second one that I really loved was Katana. I think is that how you say it, or Katana? Katana. This one really just hit me. Like, the scene that really got me was where she said that she wished that she would have threw herself on the sword to be with her husband because she sees him and she can't be with him, but also she kicks butt like throughout the whole thing. So I really like this. This is number 4.
I will second that with an honorable mention for me because I really loved that book this week too.
Yeah, it was just really...
I did too, and the artwork was beautiful, I thought the artwork was just fantastic.
It was great. Like, I felt so bad for her. I just was like, putting myself into her position. Like, I would feel the same way as she did. And then at the end, she just, kicks butt. And then my third one, which actually has been out for a while, but I just read it. It was only $1 that I bought, is Peter Panzerfaust. And this, I've actually heard from people just saying it was really good, and I thought there was like 3 out and there's like 20 out. It's like the first one that I read is like your classic Peter Pan story, but not so like you're not going off to Neverland. It's just like in the current world right now. And so this was really good. I recommend this. I recommend you go buy it and then go buy the other ones as well, like I am going to do. So, and 1, 2, yep. And that was it for me, just those 3.
All right, I have 4 this week, and I'm pretty DC heavy this week because I think DC just blew it out of the water this week. So first, I'm going to start off with Constantine, number 3. I love John Constantine. I love how he's cocky, he's arrogant, but at the same time, he's so calm and cool under pressure. And the Chief and I were talking about this. He's always 5 steps ahead of his opposition. He walks in. Let's just put it. He's going to London. He's trying to stop these 2 other mages who are trying to get this artifact. He ends up getting sucked into some sort of hell dimension, a pocket dimension. And most people like us, we'd be like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" He's just sitting there smoking a cigarette, like, we're in a pocket dimension. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
He's not shaken by the demon either that appears.
He doesn't, and I'll say the demon though to me it kind of looked like Deadman a little bit when you looked at him, but Constantine, I love that he's kind of got the noir type dialogue in the book, but he's always 5 steps ahead of his opposition, and the way he gets out of the situation in this book is just fantastic. Great artwork, and it's leading into something bigger for him. So Constantine, number 3. My next pick is Suicide Squad, number 20. If you read number 19, at the end, the Suicide Squad decided they were going to quit. They weren't going to do this anymore. And of course, that did not sit well with Amanda Waller. So this is the fallout after Amanda Waller gets him back to Belle Reve. And let me tell you, she is a vindictive woman. Is
that fallout from the Teen Titans going there and battling Suicide Squad? And them not being aware of it?
No, they had to go and fight Red Orchid, and they found out Basilisk was still alive, and then a new member of the team called the Unknown Soldier shows up. But what's really good about this is, one, you learn some things about Amanda Waller. And Amanda Waller has something in her possession that I think a certain person who I will talk about in my next pick could really, really use. And in fact, I know he wants it. And it's kind of the secret of how the Suicide Squad members keep coming back from the dead.
I bet I know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I won't say anything, but I bet I know what it is.
And someone shows up at the end of this book as a new member of the Suicide Squad that we have seen before. We know who this person is. We know what this person is capable of. I am not going to ruin it. But I was shocked, and I want to see where it's going next. So pick up Suicide Squad. Really good. So talking about that certain person who would want what Amanda Waller has, my next pick is Batman and Red Hood. In my personal opinion, this was the best book of the entire week. Because after Batman and Red Robin last month, they said next month is Red Hood. I was waiting for it. I wanted it. Because who better for Batman Bruce to go to talk about the death of Damian than the other boy wonder that fell in the line of battle? You know, up until Damian, the death of Jason was Batman's greatest failure. So I knew there was going to be a lot of emotion in this book. There was going to be a lot of things getting off each other's chests between Jason and Bruce, and it did. It really did. And you saw Bruce break down. I mean, Bruce broke down. Jason basically told him what was what. We saw more into Jason, and kind of, I think this book kind of gave us an insight of what's been going on in Red Hood and the Outlaws, if you follow Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Yeah.
But the dialogue between Bruce and Jason was fantastic. There was a lot of emotion in this book. And I think finally we were getting something. We were finally getting the two people together to finally hash out what happened.
One of the things I loved about this Batman and Red Hood was before they had the standoff at the end, when he goes to Jason Todd and he says, "I want you with me on this," more or less telling him, because I need you to back me up on this violence I'm about to do.
Yeah.
And I need you there to kind of do it for me, because I don't know if I can pull the trigger on what I'm about to do. So I thought that was kind of cool. Using him for his ruthlessness early on, too, was cool.
And the other thing that was interesting, I have to mention this, Carrie Kelly. Something is going to be going on with Carrie Kelly, because she is now going to be around the Wayne Manor a little more often thanks to Alfred.
Right.
So I'm interested to see what is going to happen with Carrie Kelly. Now, my last pick, and I don't think this is a surprise to anyone who knows me, is Mega Man number 25, Part 4 of the Worlds Collide saga, with the nice fold-out cover. So you get both the Sonic characters and the Mega Man characters.
Oh, that's nice.
There is also...
I like that.
There's also the EFF variant edition, Evil Friends Forever variant edition. But like I said last episode, with what happened in in Sonic number 248, Mega Man number 25, Sonic and Mega Man are now fighting on Mega Man's home turf. And Mega Man is called in all the reinforcements. He's called in Rush the robot dog and beat the robot bird and the flip top guy, and they're all going at it. But fantastic action, great, once again, just great dialogue. The two finally finally start figuring out what is going on, and they do start to team up. So just fantastic. The Worlds Collide series is phenomenal. So Mega Man number 25. So to recap, my picks were Constantine number 3, Suicide Squad number 20, Batman and Red Hood number 20, and Mega Man number 25. Jules, you had?
I had Bravest Warriors number 8, Katana number 4, and Peter Panzerfaust number 1.
And Chief?
Fearless Defenders number 4, Chin Music number 1, the final and number 8 of Team 7, and Thor: God of Thunder number 8.
All right, those are our picks. Go to your local comic shop if you want to check those out. So now let's get into what you were all ready and rooting for. Females in comics. They've been around forever. There have been so many of them. Who are the greatest?
Females have been around forever in general.
Oh yeah, females have been around forever in general.
That's true.
Depending on your religious or scientific preference. We do not discriminate. But who is the greatest of all the females in comics? Who's number 1? The panel-to-panel team, we each made a list. And through very, very complicated scientific algorithms, we put it through a supercomputer. And we have come up with the panel-to-panel top 20 females in comics. Number 20, Sue Richards. So what can we say about what can we say about the matriarch of the Fantastic Four?
I can say that in the first issue of Fantastic Four, Sue Richards is a horrible person. She calls Ben Grimm out, calls him a coward for not flying the rocket because they have to beat the commies into space. So Reed and Sue put the screws to Ben and make him fly the rocket. Then when he transforms into the Thing, she screams and calls him a thing. Now, that is just, she's a horrible, horrible person. But I will say, over the years, she's grown on me, and I love the character.
She's become a mother. She's become a wife. We have watched her marry. We have watched her had kids. And now we're watching her let Wolverine kill Ant-Man in Age of Ultron.
See, she's had that horrible person gene in her all this time. She's still that horrible person underneath it all.
So, Sue Storm, you are sitting there, and you are our number 20 female in comic. Number 19, Marceline, the Vampire Queen. Now, Marceline, why is she on the list? Well, she is in comics. She's had her own miniseries, Marceline and the Scream Queens. And really, when you talk about Adventure Time, Marceline is one of everybody's favorite characters.
Definitely.
She has everything you would want. She has her trouble. She has her powers. She has a huge grudge with Princess Bubblegum. And really, she wants to rock. And when we were talking about this list, I think she was on Chief's list, and I think, Jules, she was on your list. Mm-hmm. Why was she on your guys' list?
Well, go ahead. I'll let Jules go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think we were talking about, I first saw her in the cartoon, and I remember her just, being all serious, just and freaking everybody out, and then at the end she's like, I'm just playing, and I thought that was so funny, I don't know, and she's, I like the whole vampire genre, so she's one of my favorites. I like Princess Bubblegum too, but I don't know. Marceline's a little bit darker. She has the, demon dad. She has, I guess, she's part demon, or I don't know if she is, or if she thinks she is, or she's, vampire part demon because her dad is, demon. I don't know. But she's cool, but she's a vampire and demon, I guess.
My reason comes solely from the cartoon, because on Jules' recommendation, I bought just I think 3 and 4 or something, just a few of the Adventure Time comics. So I have yet to even see her in the comics, but I love the character from the show because I think Adventure Time is a thinly disguised sci-fi fantasy adventure disguised as a kid's show, and the whole history of her growing up with the Ice King before, after the Mushroom War, and while she's growing up with him in the apocalypse as he slowly loses his mind to the ice powers. I think that's brilliant sci-fi fantasy with jokes in it. And I think just solely on the deepness of that relationship to the Ice King was she on my list.
Number 18, Harley Quinn. This Harley Quinn, I love Harley Quinn because she is a character you either love or you hate. And I have seen both. But you talk about a character who first showed up in I believe it was the Joker's Favor of Batman the Animated Series. She was originally supposed to be a one-off character, just a one-off female sidekick of the Joker. But she proved so popular with fans, she was brought into the actual DC universe. And we actually got her definitive origin story in the book Mad Love, where we learned about Harleen Quinzel and how she fell in love with the Joker. But over the years, not only has she only been with the Joker, but she had her own self-titled book. She was she was with the Gotham City Sirens. And there's just so much about Harley. She is so complex, so deep. I mean, if you think about it, Harley is probably the only person that Poison Ivy actually has any care for. We know Poison Ivy cares more for plants than humans, but Harley is someone that she actually cares for. And actually, it was Poison Ivy that helped Harley get powers of her own at one point. And now with the New 52, she's a member of the Suicide Squad. Another character with a lot of controversy, I think mostly because of her outfit. But we see so many different sides to Harley. And she's a character that makes us wonder, does the Joker actually care for someone? Because we have seen the Joker hit Harley. We've seen him beat her within an inch of her life. We've seen him try to kill her. But at the same time, we always see the Joker coming back to Harley. We always see them both coming together. So it's a very cool dynamic with Harley Quinn. And she's one of my favorites of all time. Anybody have anything to add?
I will say that I at first did not like her, and I thought it was too over the top. I thought it was just, her name was kind of just a little too convenient to be involved with the Joker, like her real name. But I will say that she has grown on me, and the issues of Suicide Squad that I have read were some of the coolest, and the emotional roller coaster the Joker puts her on through that is cool to watch. How you can see a little bit of her normal self kind of coming through as she's kind of realizing he's a nut job.
And it's kind of the point, you cannot have Joker in some continuity without Harley. If you look at the Arkham games and you look at even now Injustice, Gods Amongst Us, where there's the Joker, there is Harley. So Harley Quinn is number 18.
And in the Arkham games too. She's in those, which are pretty cool.
I do see her a lot more. Like, I see her even with the cosplayers too. I see everybody dressing up as Harley Quinn. Like, it seems like she's really popular more as now than she was when she first came out. Everybody wants to be Harley Quinn.
Number 17, Andrea from The Walking Dead.
Yes, she was on my list. I think I was the only one who put her on the list. I was trying to convince Jules for the longest time that no, you have to see her in the comic book. She's such a cool character in the comic, because I think your exposure was to her character on the TV show. Mm-hmm. And I was a little disappointed. I thought, I know it's supposed to be a different kind of thing on the TV show from the comic, but as a fan of the comic and the show, for me it's kind of hard to separate sometimes. And the fact that Andrea on the show is so different than the one in the comic book, it's hard for me to wrap my head around sometimes. But I picked Andrea solely because of her role in the comic book, because she's been through all kinds of craziness, ups and downs, and she's still like the top sharpshooter of the apocalypse. She can hit anything, use any weapon. She's hooked up with Rick now in the books, and they're kind of like her and Carl and Rick and Michonne are kind of like a family unit in the book in a way. Michonne's kind of like the aunt that takes care of Carl, you know. But I love that character in the comic, and I will defend her comic character with my dying breath. I can't say so much for the TV show Andrea, but I will defend the comic book Andrea till my last breath leaves my body.
Yeah, actually, when you were talking to me on Twitter about her, I was like, okay, let me see what's, you know, because of course it is different. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna give her a chance because you know, and then we seen what happened. But yeah, she I wish that I mean, like, I don't read it, but I wish that they would have done like how she is in the comic, because I definitely would have loved her then for sure. But
well, she would have had to live longer. I can't believe she's like still a major player in the comic book, and the fact that she's gone on the show is really weird to me. That's one of the things I'm having a hard time getting my head around.
I was thinking that because after we talked, and then that happened, I was like, no, she can't really be dead because I know she has a bigger part, you know. And then, like, I mean, I guess they didn't really show it, but yeah, she's probably gone.
That was kind of the ultimate shocker, I think. that really threw fans of the comic book for a loop when that I wasn't expecting her to die. I didn't think in a million years they would kill her. I thought maybe she'd be injured and they'd somehow rescue her.
Because I mean, they did capture her tough. I mean, she's pretty tough. So like when I saw that too, I was like, oh no, that can't be. I mean, she could hold her own, you know. But
number 16, Bubbles.
Yay! So Bubbles had to be on this list. I actually got my little Bubbles doll here to show you guys. When we were making this list, she is one of the first people that came into my mind because if you read the comic, watch the cartoon, she's cute and bubbly and really tough, and they underestimate her all the time. So like, you know, laugh at her and everything, and then she just totally kicks butt. And here's the Powerpuff Girls movie that I also have that I saw. So I mean, I definitely think she deserves a place on there. She does have, you know, if you know who the Powerpuff Girls are, they have superpowers. I did put the other two on my list, but sadly they did not make it. Just Bubbles made it. But yeah, so they have superpowers. They fly, and they are just really funny. So I had to put her on there because she's great, and she's bubbly like me, so it fits.
Number 15, Catwoman. I don't know what we can say about Catwoman that has not already been said. I mean, even from her first debut, you know, Catwoman has always treaded the line between good and evil. She has always been right there on that cusp. I mean, I know that there was a time when she was a major villain. Then she kind of became just a petty thorn in the side. She's been a lover of Batman. But what I love about Catwoman and why I wanted her, why I think she's one of the greatest females in comics, is because she does what she wants, when she wants it, and how she wants to do it. She wants to steal something, guess what? It's hers. If she wants to kick your rear end, she's going to kick it. If she wants to let you live, she'll just walk away. You know, she picks and chooses her battles, but she really does, she does her own thing. And I think when you're talking about some of the great females, it's her, because she doesn't, to me, she never really compromises who she is. She knows who she is. She knows she is a thief. She never tries to be, she never claims that she's the hero, even though she at times is the hero. But as someone who can honestly be someone who can who Batman can let his guard down with, I think that is Selina Kyle.
I thought it was funny in the Justice League comic where they were like, sent her in, they were like, don't touch anything, don't touch anything. And she's like, but it's so pretty, the necklace. And then like when she walks away, it's not there, you know. So I thought that was great, because I was like, oh, she's not going to take it, she's not going to take it. She has this mission, and then she, of course, took it. But
She is a thief, but a thief with a heart, because you'll see in other issues of Batman and in her own series, she is always helping kids out. That's her weakness. She will risk her. She may be selfish to a huge degree when it comes to other supervillains or even just rich people. But when it comes, kids are her weakness. We saw in Death of the Family how she risked her own life to save a kid, and so she does have a heart, which I don't think they would have asked her to join the JLA if she didn't. So,
and even if you go back in time a bit, there was a time Selina had a child, and that she stopped being Catwoman because she wanted to take care of her child. And we know that Huntress is supposed to be the child of Catwoman and Batman. So Catwoman definitely, she marches to the beat of her own drummer. She does have a heart. But at the same time, she can kick your rear end 5 days to Sunday. And that is why she is on this list. Number 14, Michonne.
okay. I will talk about Michonne here. Well, I did some research today, just so I had this right. I was going to come up with some research for all these people, and I did figure out, because I didn't read Walking Dead when it first started. I had to go back and catch up with graphic novels and some of the big collections until I got to a certain point. So I didn't get this issue, but she first appeared in issue 19, and on the TV show she appeared in episode 13 of the second season. She's bonded with Rick and Carl in the group. She's one of them at this point in the story, and she's just a tough, awesome. She's kind of the lone samurai in the apocalypse world, and she will go to unbelievable lengths to survive and to protect her people. Like to Carl, she's more of a protective mother figure in the comic book. I think they'll get into that on the TV show. You saw that a little bit in the last season. How she is with Carl, but in the comic book, she's really protective of Carl to a huge degree, and I think she deserves a place on this list just for being a unique character in a unique book that's kind of unlike anything else that's out every month. So that's my piece on the show.
Number 13, Shauna the She-Devil. I absolutely love Shauna the She-Devil, and you want to talk about someone that we have here at Panel to Panel, we have talked about on and off for ever since she came back in Savage Wolverine.
On Twitter we go on for an hour or two just discussing the issue of Savage Wolverine.
But when you talk about Shauna, or in her first run, Shauna was she had been an Olympic gymnast, and she's living in Africa, and most of her adventures were taking place within those areas, within the jungles of Africa. She hooked up with Kazar, the Lord of the Jungle, and throughout the Kazar run, Shauna was a permanent figure in the Kazar comics. She was in quite a few of the out of the 30-plus issues of Kazar the Savage. Shauna was in quite a few of them, and even at one point, Kazar the Savage was renamed Shauna the Shauna the Savage. And then Shauna, who was a staple of that time period, the 1970s Marvel comic group, fell off for a bit until Frank Cho entered and brought Shauna back in a miniseries where a group of mercenaries, so to speak, soldiers, actually come across a Nazi bunker in the Savage Land, and inside the bunker is Shauna and clones of Shauna, or this female in cryotubes. They free her, she's kicks major butt, and the soldiers end up naming her Shauna. And this German doctor who was at the facility actually asked, "Why did you name her Shauna?" And the doctor goes, "They named her after this comic book character that he used to read." So after the Frank Cho run, she had a run with Shauna, Survival of the Fittest, where once again she is saving. Actually, this time she's saving some diamond smugglers, some diamond thieves within the Savage Land. But the thing what I love about Shauna is even before she had these genetically powered skills that Frank Cho gave her, in the original run, Shauna was still able to really kick some major rear end. She used her athleticism, she used her background as a gymnast to always overcome certain things. And in the earlier runs, Shauna had two leopards, whether she had a black leopard and a spotted leopard, and they were called Ina and Beery. And she was just a city girl, an Olympic gymnast who is now living in the jungle, but she could hold her own. And if you've been following Shauna in Savage Wolverine, you know Shauna can kick some major rear end. Now, we are not going to get into the whole debate of how she can do all this in her little leopard bikini.
Oh, come on.
That is for another show. However, I will say this, Chief, in the Frank Cho Shauna, there is a scene where she's wearing overalls.
I will say that I do like that technique. The technique has been used before to take a character and modernize them by using like with the Hellcat with Patsy Walker or whatever. She used to. There was the teen comic Patsy or whatever it was back in the day that Stan. I guess I don't know if Stan Lee created that back when it was timely or whatever. They had the Patsy comic book, and then it turns out in modern Marvel continuity that Patsy Walker, the Hellcat's mother, actually was the writer and artist of that comic book or whatever, and they kind of brought the real life into the continuity, almost in a way with Captain America too, the way that he was really an inspiration to people in World War II back when the original old Captain America comics, and then they resurrected him in the 60s, and said that he was the guy that this propaganda was about, and that this hero, and he's really this guy, he's really this hero frozen in ice, and here he is back with the Avengers, and I think that's a genius way to resurrect characters, to bring them into the real world a little bit.
Jules, you got anything?
Yeah, I started liking her with Savage, and then she's amazing. And then I looked her up, and I was like, trying to figure out what she was all about. And then, but I need to go back and read all of the ones so that I kind of know more. But I tried to learn as much as I could about her because I was like, she honestly is kind of better than Wolverine is in this comic. Like she's really tough. I don't know. She doesn't have any fear. So I think she definitely deserves to be on the list.
And that's something you find throughout her comic run is she doesn't have fear. And we love having Sean on this list for the fact she is a person with some outstanding skills that supports the wildlife, stands up for the environment, and will not allow anyone to be mistreated. So, Shauna, welcome to our list.
Yay!
Number 12, Red She-Hulk.
Red She-Hulk. Well, as you guys probably know, she is Betty Ross, the Hulk's girlfriend, wife, aider and abetter for the better part of his life. But her first appearance as Betty Ross is in Incredible Hulk #1. She appears as Red She-Hulk in Hulk Volume 2, and for some reason I didn't write the number down for that. I was here. I started reading her when she took over the run for Red Hulk, and I think that was at issue 58 when they changed over. And I've been reading her solo titles since then. But created by, Betty Ross was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, of course, and Jeff Lieb, I guess, Loeb, Lieb, and Ed McGuinness created the Red She-Hulk character version of Betty Ross. But she was also, in between being Betty Ross and Red She-Hulk, she was also another gamma-radiated character called Harpy that fought the Hulk and was, gamma irradiated by MODOK at one, and Bruce Banner managed to fix her that time. But then, so one way or another, she was exposed to the same gamma treatment that her father, General Thunderbolt, was exposed to become Red Hulk, and she became Red She-Hulk after that. But right now, currently, she's on the run from the Avengers in the comic book with the Machine Man, and that is getting really good, by the way. I recommend Red She-Hulk, the comic book, to anyone who wants to read about Red She-Hulk.
And she is a woman, you know, that she was the girlfriend, the confidant of Bruce Banner, and now she is she is one of the She-Hulks, and she's gotten a lot tougher. She's gotten badder, not bad in the evil way, but badder just as in, oh my God, she is so bad.
Right.
Nowadays.
If you've read the comic, you know there's actually another stage of her hulked outness where she goes full red Hulk, and as you know, normally she just looks like a red version of a regular, normal, proportioned woman, kind of like the Green She-Hulk. But when she gets really upset, Red She-Hulk hulks out to an entirely new atomic rage level, where she becomes more like a big Bruce Banner Hulk, and it was kind of unnerving to see that the first time. And I can't remember what issue it was. But it was a few back, just a few issues back. But that's another odd power that kind of sets her apart from the other She-Hulk.
Number 11, Storm. You talk about someone who has been through hell and back. I think we got to talk about Storm. You know, appearing in giant-size X-Men, alongside such classic people as Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Colossus, to rescue the original X-Men from Krakoa. I believe it was Krakoa, if I said that right. But throughout her run, Storm has had so much going on that normal people would have nightmares about. We all know that Storm is claustrophobic, and she's had to overcome that fear her entire life, and living in Africa as a child and dealing with the Shadow King when she was younger. She's been targeted since childhood, but Storm is, in my opinion, is probably one of the strongest members of the X-Men team. If you look later on down the road, she had a romance with Forge, and she actually ended up getting her depowered by this weapon that Forge created. But even though Storm had no mutant power, she stayed on with the X team. And in fact, she even defeated Cyclops for leadership of the X-Men without any powers. She fought Callisto with nothing but a knife to take over the Morlocks. In the 80s, we know she had her punk look, her classic punk look, which made her a little bit stronger. She's had her goddess look. And even most recently, Storm marrying T'Challa, the Black Panther, and becoming the Queen of Wakanda. But then, during the Avengers vs. X-Men series, Black Panther annulled the marriage. And if you follow the book A+X, you saw a story in issue number 2 or 3 with her and T'Challa, and how they still talk to each other, but she will not allow herself to let her feelings show. And if you follow Wolverine and the X-Men, we know that she has been having romantic trysts with Wolverine. And she also asked Wolverine to shave her head again, which is why now we have the punk look Storm back. But you want to talk about a woman that is powerful. You look at her, she is currently leading the Uncanny X-Force. And she is soon this month going to be leading the new team of X-Men, the all-female cast team of X-Men. But a woman who has always been strong, always cared for her teammates, who could call down the powers and elements of the weather, of lightning, of storms, but someone whose heart has always been with her family, and she has never turned her back on her family, which are the X-Men. She is someone that I honestly feel belongs on our list. I think she is probably one of the strongest and greatest characters to ever be created in any comic.
That's awesome.
I would like to add that she also was able to wield the power of Thor at one time. She got a hold of. She became a goddess of thunder in one of the, was it Uncanny X-Men Annual or something?
Mm-hmm.
Where they went to Asgard. I don't remember which issue it is, but I know I have the issue where she's on the cover and she's got Thor's hammer, and her costume has changed into a more Thor-like outfit. But I can't remember which issue number it is.
I don't know a whole lot about Storm, but now you make me want to read everything that she's ever been in, because she sounds fantastic.
She is fantastic. She is strong, and we are happy to have her at number 11 on our list. Ladies and gentlemen, that is number 20 through 11 of the Panel to Panel's top 20 females in comics. Who are 10 through 1? You'll have to come back tomorrow to find out. But we have something for you. You know who 20 through 11 is. We want you to go on Twitter using the hashtag #PanelToPanel. We want to know who you think is the number 1 female in comics. If you can correctly guess, the first person to correctly guess who number 1 is, we have something for you. Right, Chief?
Indeed we do. We have right here a Volume 6, This Sorrowful Life, Walking Dead trade paperback. Right from my comic vault.
So we want you to go on Twitter, hashtag #PanelToPanel. You tell us who is the number 1 female in comics. So until tomorrow, I'm Spin Dash. And with me
Space
is...
Chief. Space Chief.
And Jules.
And from all of us, we are saying to you...
Hello? I must be going. I cannot stay. I came to say I must be going. I'm glad I came, but just the same, I must be going. La la.
All right, we'll go with that.